Oh wait, is this a check?
Yeah, I mean,
Checkity, check,
48 episodes
Checkity.
into, I think this is 48, or is it 47? Who the heck knows?
47,
We're in the
40.
late 40s of CrossGen,
Damn.
and
It's only like 2 more, 3 more until
we're getting
50.
We're getting to 50. People, we're getting to 50.
Destruction 50.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know.
50 episodes of CrossGen podcast. Is that like
What was
not insane?
What was the thing we saw? I don't know why it popped into my head. Jar Jar Binks, 50th.
Yeah, where was? Oh, that was in the Best Buy.
Best
Yes.
Buy. Now, why did
we saw a really
really
good looking
detailed.
Jar Jar Binks
really
in Best Buy. The 50th anniversary. It can't be 50.
Yeah,
It hasn't been that long.
probably has.
50 probably for Star Wars. Well, not
Star
even.
Wars came out in 1970. 30, 20.
Yeah, but it still hasn't gotten there yet.
2021.
2021, right?
That came out in 1970. You have 30 years. And then the
1977. It hasn't hit 50 yet, so why the heck is it 50?
Hold on, there's
I'm
3 years.
confused now.
So that's like 23.
It's been 20. It's been 44 years.
43, 44, whatever. 50. So why did it say 50 Star Wars? 50 Star Wars.
I'm confused.
Is that like the name of the brand? But that's such a stupid name. 50.
It said 50 Lucas, right?
Yeah, 50. Yeah, 50 Lucas. Maybe they put the price on the front of, but $50 for that Jar Jar Binks is kind of a overstretch.
Yeah, 44 years.
44.
That's what I said. So this cannot go unavenged. Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks.
And the crazy thing is that Jar Jar Binks was actually super
cheap.
Well, super cheap, but super what's the word that I'm looking for? Super detailed.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It says it's 50th anniversary Jar Jar Binks 6.
How the hell is it?
Star Wars Episode 1.
Celebration 50?
LTD.
How could it be 50 years old?
Oh yeah, and I love the box that it came in. It was like metallic and it had Maul's face on it.
Wait. I am super confused.
Yeah. And
how is the Black Series? Okay, hold on. I actually have to go to Walmart to figure this out.
Well, it's not too detailed, but it's especially detailed. The way that the reason why we say it's so detailed is because it seems like it's a widely marketed toy, not like
so the product details on Walmart for this Jar Jar Binks. And again, it's freaking Jar Jar Binks that's making us do this, which is absolutely insane. We did an episode, by the way, people, on how we believe that Jar Jar Binks is actually a Sith Lord, right?
That was our first conspiracy corner.
That's true. This is what it says. A creature from the underwater depths of the planet Naboo, Jar Jar Binks must convince his fellow Gungans to take up arms, commemorate the first 50 years of Lucasfilm with figures inspired by the Star Wars prequel trilogy.
Oh, so that's Lucasfilm, not Star Wars.
Yes, because Lucasfilm did do stuff before Star Wars. I think they did like I forgot what the heck, a THX and some sci-fi movies beforehand. So I forget that Lucasfilm was actually a movie studio before Star Wars. Again, we're going with these insanely long sound checks. And Andre hasn't even spoken yet.
Hold up. Real quick. How much was it selling for in Walmart? I mean, in Best Buy? It was only like $19, right?
I think
$20. So. It's selling for $50. Like, no, 60.
Son of a gun. We should have bought it and then sold it online.
The least that it's selling for is like $40. That's like double the price that Best Buy was selling it on.
This is crazy.
What the hell, bro?
Hey, AJ, you want to join in on this insanely long sound check?
You couldn't I can't even do it
Oh
now.
my god.
Too much pressure. It's only been 5 minutes.
Yeah, I've been waiting for you two. Anyway, check.
That was very
Checkered.
What is this?
Again, it's because of Jar Jar Binks, the Sith Lord.
Hey yo.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the CrossGen podcast. And I apologize for that insanely long CrossGen sound check, but
It's not over.
it's freaking Jar Jar Binks, freaking Binks, freaking Jar Jar,
Yeah.
freaking
It's not
freaking Sith Lord.
It's not over.
I don't know.
Because real quick,
There's
guess
more
what I found?
stuff.
Okay, so I
Oh
was
my
scrolling
God.
the Jar Jar Binks 50 toys, and of course this had to pop up sooner or later. So
Who's that?
the one and only Darth. He goes by many names.
Is that
Darth
like
Plagueis,
an actual toy?
Darth Nihilus.
Is
Yeah,
that you
Darth?
can buy that toy?
But
Send that link to me.
he is
It's
known
a
as
link to a
Jar Jar.
Darth Binks figure
Darth Binks.
where he's holding, and I'm gonna describe this to everybody. He's holding in his right hand, of course, the signature red lightsaber that the Sith use, but with his left hand, he's shooting Sith lightning.
Yeah.
That is instantly, if we buy that, the greatest piece of my collection like ever.
You know what's terrifying? The website goes by best Star Wars gifts, 39 ideas that true geeks will love by USA Today. So it's like, I don't know if they're joking or
I don't care.
I don't know.
Anyway, okay, enough of Jar Jar Binks. We actually have a reason for being on today. Although, again, this week for some reason we are recording like super late. We are actually recording this on Monday night while watching the Monday night game with Indianapolis versus the Baltimore Ravens, and at this point the Colts are winning 7-0. So, but anyway, you guys didn't come here for that. We are going to be talking about two things today, two things that are near and dear to our heart. We're talking about Dragon Ball, as we normally do on this podcast, and we're talking about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball, we're going to be talking about the Dragon Ball superhero trailer. Did I say that right?
Superhero.
Did I say that right?
I found it's easier to just say DBS superhero.
Dragon Ball
That
Super
would-
Super.
yeah. What happens if I say Dragon Ball Super Squared Hero? That wouldn't work? Or
It's
2
just-
times super?
Isn't it weird how Dragon Ball Superheroes, the title is constantly being reused over and over
It's-
Oh,
again?
yeah, what
so
the hell
weird.
is with that?
It's
There's
so-
3 different versions of Dragon Ball Superheroes. There's one with 2 supers, and then there's there's 2 with only 1 super, except
Dragon Ball
Heroes is
Superhero?
plural.
Heroes.
Or are they both plural? Yeah, Dragon Ball Super is superhero, and then Dragon Ball Superheroes and Dragon Ball Superheroes, I believe.
I thought the other one was Super Dragon Ball Heroes.
Oh, okay. So they just
So they just got
switcheroo.
dyslexic on everybody and switched it up.
Dragon Ball Superheroes.
All right.
Super Dragon Ball Heroes.
Anyway, the second topic that we're going to be talking about is a rumor, and again, rumor,
Trash.
because we don't know that
Sorry.
it's specific.
Not.
It's a leak about the Obi-Wan show and, well, Darth Vader. So we'll talk about that first later in the show. But first, it did confirm it?
Oh
When
my
did this happen?
god.
No. We know that he's going to be in it.
Oh,
We
okay.
that we knew, and as a matter of fact, and I know we're getting ahead of ourselves because I wanted to do Star Wars later. We did know that Hayden Christensen was coming back to reprise the role of Anakin
Oh, okay.
Skywalker.
I didn't read that all the way
And
through.
as a
My
matter
bad,
of
guys.
fact, just this past Friday, I believe, he was at the Empire State Building lighting the well, the Empire State Building. And you know what and it was in honor of Comic-Con, but he lit the thing red. So we know that he's going to be in it. So that's not news. What the news is this leak that came out by this leaker who leaked that there is a certain leak that we need to discuss. But we're not going to discuss that now because we want to talk about the Okay, I'm going to say it very slowly. The Dragon Ball Superhero trailer.
Not as Super Dragon Ball Heroes or Dragon Super. No, I was about to say
Just
Dragon
stop.
Super Ball
Just-
Heroes.
Let's do what AJ
Heroes
said.
Ball Super Dragon.
Hey, let's just do what AJ said. It's DBS Superhero. The DBS Superhero trailer. That's probably a lot easier, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, the Dragon Ball. I was about to say it. The DBS Superhero trailer dropped. What was it, like 3 days ago?
That sounds about right.
Right. And so initially, the way that I found out about it is that AJ sent me a screenshot because I guess they teased it the day before, right? They kind of said the trailer's coming, right?
Well, what happened was, yeah, did they tease it? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. When I saw that, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, the trailer must be out. Send it to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
the screenshot was just it's a screenshot. Somebody
Okay.
just saw the
Well,
frame. and it was
he
like,
showed me a
yeah.
very specific
Yeah,
screenshot
I know
because
what
he
you're talking
knows
about.
of a very specific character that I happen to like in Dragon Ball, which is Broly.
Yeah.
Brolalicious is
Brolis.
Brolalicious is in the movie.
Yes,
So,
he is here.
So then afterwards, then everybody went crazy and the trailer dropped and all this stuff. Now, let me ask you a question, and I'm gonna let you guys handle this part because you guys are really, really the Dragon Ball experts. Even though I've seen Dragon Ball from like the beginning, but you guys have taken Dragon Ball
Yeah.
fandom in this household to another level, right?
Mhm.
Didn't the trailer feel very not Dragon Ballish? Right? Didn't it have like a feel where it was more like an anime type movie that happened to have Dragon Ball figures in there? Because like it was super serious. At least that's the way I felt, right?
I think that
No.
Like it had the characters and they were showing the guys in the
Yeah.
suits and all this other stuff. Normally when I think Dragon Ball, I'm thinking they're flying in the air and there's
Yeah.
explosions and there's fights and stuff. And this one really didn't showcase any of that until like maybe toward the end.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just felt that it felt different.
Somebody, I remember I was seeing a post and somebody commented something that it really puts it into perspective. I feel like Akira Toriyama isn't focused on the fights, more about the world building and the character building, and I think that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
Because
I got something to say about that.
Because I mean, obviously you're not getting the crazy fights. I mean, with Dragon Ball Super Broly, I mean, I'm pretty sure the first thing that we all saw was Goku and Vegeta SSB fighting Broly, then Golden Frieza hopping in, and then sooner or later, we all knew. Well, I think there was a leak beforehand, but Gogeta Blue would be fighting Broly. It's more focused on.
It felt like a regular anime trailer. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at.
Because it's not focused on the fighting.
Right. It felt more like, what, here's our characters, here's what's, it was almost as if they were preparing us to giving us a little backstory while we were watching this trailer. As opposed to the normal balls to the wall, crazy, Dragon Ball, hey, here you go. If you block this attack, then this planet will be destroyed and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
It was very almost serious.
Knowing Akira, he's definitely leading up to something.
Okay.
With this, that's for sure.
AJ, you had a problem with that, right?
No, because see here, this is gonna be something. No. This is gonna be something that we're gonna talk about later. that apparently it's okay for Dragon Ball to do, but not okay for Star Wars to do. Though, to be fair, they have been doing it a little bit too much recently.
For Star Wars, yeah, that's an understatement.
So, in the trailer, we are going to be getting reintroduced and reacquainted with the infamous Red Ribbon Army. Now, who is the Red Ribbon Army? Well, they're a bunch of they're definitely not pirates. They're kind of like a mercenary group, except, we're going to take over the world, that old adage.
You're the Empire.
Yeah, they were Toriyama's version of the Empire, more or less. You got guys like Commander Blue or Commander Red. I don't know which one. Major Metallitron.
Ader was part of that group once, wasn't he?
Well, he was created by a scientist who worked with them unknowingly. But then, yeah. He was never really about that. What else is the Red Ribbon responsible for in the Dragon Ball universe, if you don't know? Well, they hired a little old man called Dr. Gero. And Dr. Gero would go on to make an almost nearly endless plethora of androids.
Yeah.
From, 11 to 12 to 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and if you really want to count it, 21. And of course, you also have Cell.
Yeah.
Yes, 21.
Cell
yeah.
Cell was. Yeah, Cell was.
He was. He was an android.
Mm-hmm.
He was just a different kind of android. He was a bio-android. Yeah, that's kind of what the Red Ribbon is known for. So here's my problem. You already had the first part of Dragon Ball dealing exclusively with these guys. You had them picked right back up during Z with Gero and the entire androids and Cell Saga.
Cell Saga, not really.
Oh no, Cell Saga really.
Because Cell didn't represent Red Ribbon. I don't even want to.
He didn't neither did 17 and 18, but the whole point is they are very closely associated with Red Ribbon Army.
I don't think that they represent Red Ribbon though.
Doesn't matter.
That doesn't make them a part of the Red Ribbon. That they
have
but the
nothing
whole
to
point.
Do with it.
They've separated themselves.
No. You're not understanding what I'm getting at. The whole point is that Red Ribbon is being drummed up again because.
Yes, I know what you're saying. Cell Saga doesn't.
Yes, it did because you wouldn't have had Cell if not for the Red Ribbon Army.
Okay, but last thing, what I'm trying to say is that Cell and Android 18 and 17 practically separated themselves from Red Ribbon. So they are not associated with Red Ribbon. But that's besides the point. With the new thing, bringing back Red Ribbon, right? I don't see the problem with that. I mean, I feel that, look, if they're gonna go with androids again, fine. I don't care for androids anymore. But if they're gonna try something new, which I know Akira Toriyama likes to do sometimes, and I'm hoping that he's gonna do the same again, then fine. So be it. They are technically supposed to be the main villain group for Dragon Ball as a whole. So I think trying to go back to it is a sort of good idea, but it's a very risky move. So
I do not agree at all.
This is not the Dragon Ball Z isn't about like Majin Buu and fighting like Cell. The original was like Red Ribbon.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned Majin Buu because the trailer was debuted on, to be specific, it was debuted on Thursday of last week, right? And it was debuted at the New York Comic-Con. Now, that was set. It was debuted exclusively, and I guess on Friday they actually released a trailer to the general public, right? So you mentioned Majin Buu. Some of the details that came out of Comic-Con is that this is set 10 years after Goku beat Majin Buu. Okay. Yeah. And the teaser trailer, because it's not a proper trailer, right? And I think you can see because it kind of felt like, they were bits and pieces. Those were taken from the completed portions of the film. Okay, so those things are done. Those are ready to go. And it gave us, like you said, flashes of characters. The Red Ribbon Army obviously is going to be in there. But let's talk about some of the other characters that we saw there. We saw Goku.
Yeah.
We saw Piccolo, which
Yes.
is very, very interesting. And we'll get into
Yes.
that in a second. We also saw Pan, right?
There we go.
Another
There
person
we
who
go.
we're
I don't
going to
need
see.
that screw up.
AJ with his split-second catching of Broly within the trailer, right? Which, honestly, if you watch the trailer, you'll never see Broly, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
crazy thing about it, because
I don't know.
he showed
Actually,
me,
yes.
he
I
showed
saw
me
Broly
the screen.
in the frame.
Oh,
Where?
It's a split second
It's
screen. You could literally
a
see
split
it.
second. I didn't see it.
You can see it. Please.
Can't.
But then you have these new guys, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
weird.
Dende
Zaha?
was in the trailer. Believe it or
Dende.
not.
Huh.
There's
How the
some
frick is he there?
There's some character designs,
I mean,
that was there.
He's gotta be there.
And he's
remember
grown
him
up.
there.
He's
He's
bigger.
growing up.
They
Oh,
also
yo.
showed off Bulma in a yellow jumpsuit. Vegeta was in the trailer.
Ah!
Yes.
Oh!
The
Oh,
bad
don't-
man
no,
shirt.
Go.
shirt.
Continue. I don't want to
Okay.
hear that.
So it looks like he's definitely going to make an appearance. We don't know exactly what
Swear
it's
to
going to
God,
be.
freaking Akira with his
Um,
stupid designs.
Do we know who Corey is?
Corey, did you say?
The 8th Century's walking kitty from the old Dragon Ball series. Apparently,
he's probably like
he was showed off in the New York Comic Con as well.
like the mustache dude or something.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things that are popping in this thing. And before we get into the characters, just so that you know, it's scheduled to release in Japan in 2022. However, the English dubbing and the English release date has not been revealed, right?
But can we watch it in sub earlier?
But here's what they said. They would like it, meaning the US release and the Japanese release, to be as close to the US release as possible. So they're kind of trying to do it simultaneously. Whether that actually happens or not remains to be seen. But let's talk about some of the guys that we saw in the trailer itself. We see Goku for like a split second, right?
I mean, he's always going to be there.
Yeah,
so.
we know that he's going to be there. We see Vegeta, right?
Bad man.
Okay, so it looks like he's going to be, super crazy, super hot-headed, super Vegeta. He's going to be Vegeta, the one that we know and love.
I know Akira is not going to play.
But let's talk about Pan, but more importantly, let's talk about who Pan is being trained by.
Yeah.
And this is something that I think is a good change. Hopefully the focus is more on this character, right? Because ever since his early roles in the series, he's kind of been pushed to the side and kind of made a really side character, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking about Piccolo.
Babysitter.
Yeah. Basically turning him from a badass Namekian into just a babysitter, which is, if you think about it, that's pretty interesting. A powerful Namekian is your babysitter. But anyway,
I don't know.
It looks, at least from the look of the trailer, that he's going to play a much bigger role in this movie, right?
They said he's one of the main characters now. So, I think
about,
that's...
what are your thoughts about that?
My thoughts are that we needed this a long time ago.
My thoughts are that he's still going to be a weakling, and they're just going to lower the enemy's battle power or something like that.
Well, that's what alpha and beta is for now.
Huh? What, alpha and beta?
Those two android-looking fools.
I thought they're good
Gamma
guys.
1 and Gamma 2.
Yet they're fighting Piccolo.
Oh, I don't freaking know. Well,
I'll bet you anything they're Red Ribbon.
probably Red Ribbon. But I as much as I love Piccolo, I just don't see him being a main character. I mean, especially with the way he's portrayed in the show. He's a freaking babysitter to Pan. And then, not to mention, oh my God, do we even need to talk about how Pan was in GT? She was
They're going
disgraced.
to depart from that, I imagine.
She was a
I mean,
freaking
she's going
disgrace.
to be with Piccolo now. Training, at least, anyway.
She seems much stronger, at least.
She does. She does.
Because Pan was such a, oh my God, you don't even, if you watch GT, you know that's one of the main reasons why, yes, Pan is just horrible. But, I mean, I really hope they do something with Pan. I don't want her to be the main character again, like freaking GT. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants Pan as the main character. Not again. Not after that disgrace.
Well,
But
you just gotta find a way to.
No, not at all.
No.
You can't keep her as the same character. Do you know how annoying
need
it
to
was
exactly be
for
the
me to
same.
even see her on screen? Oh my gosh. No.
Yeah, that's why they're gonna change it up. Corin.
No.
Really? We haven't seen Corin in ages.
Ooh, Corin.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was the cat that I was telling you about.
Finally. He's
You know.
coming back. But, I mean, I can't tell you how I feel about this Dragon Ball, about this trailer, because I mean, as much as this trailer like gives away a lot of stuff, there's still some details that
They're not giving away anything.
Well, I mean, they're sort of giving us an idea, but it's just not too much details to formulate an opinion on. So that's my take. Yeah.
Well, here's what Toshio Furukawa says about Piccolo. When asked what kind of role will Piccolo play in the new movie, he says, "Well, what I can say for sure is that Piccolo plays a fairly large role in this one. He shares a lot of screen time with Pan, actually, and it's almost like he's a grandfather taking care of his beloved granddaughter. Aside from that, there are also times where he acts as kind of a mentor. Overall, I had a great time playing Piccolo again this time around." So, again, it's it looks like they're kind of pigeonholing him again into that kind of babysitter role,
really
but
does.
expanding his babysitting
That's stupid.
duties, right?
The one thing I have to say is, why is Piccolo Gohan's father and also Pan's grandfather, when you have Goku there the entire time, right? He's always taking that role for him. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is so embarrassing if you think about that. But anyway.
So another question that was asked at the panel was how this kind of connects within the greater Dragon Ball universe, right? The specific question was the Dragon Ball Super anime connects the story with the last chapter of the manga, but this movie, is it a continuation from the end of the manga? And so, they wanted to know if it's connected. This was the answer that we got. Dragon Ball Super is a story that takes place in the climax time area of the Dragon Ball manga, which covers the period 10 years after the fight of Goku and Majin Buu. This story is written by Toriyama Sensei, so naturally it's connected to Dragon Ball. So the next question is, well, can you tell us what period this movie is set? Is it after the Granola arc, but before the 28th Tenkaichi Budokai World Tournament?
Basically, end of Z.
Right. So, apparently, well, he said the Granola arc is currently taking place now in these recent chapters, but the movie does take place after the Broly movie, but before that 28th Tenkaichi Budokai World Tournament. So
before end of Z.
Any thoughts on that?
Wait, Majin Buu saga takes place after the Broly movie?
No.
What?
This takes place 10 years after that fight.
Okay, so it takes place.
So this was 10 years before the fight between Goku and Majin Buu in the Majin Buu saga was 10 years before Dragon Ball Super. Let's put it
Yes.
that way.
And then this one is right after Broly.
So this new movie is after Broly, but before that 28th Budokai World Tournament.
And
So-
it's after Broly.
And it's after Broly.
What does the Majin
But
Buu saga
The
thing have to relate
only
to this?
thing, the only thing that's kind of how long after the Broly movie is my question.
It says it takes place after the Broly movie. So I'm
That's
going to
still
assume
very ambiguous.
relative.
yeah,
I don't want to say it takes place before the Granola arc, but the way they're putting it, it could very easily be, which is weird.
it maybe this is
Before Moro.
yeah, maybe that's
How long
what
was
it
it
is.
after? How long was it? After Broly, after the Broly movie, when does the Moro saga kick in?
Yeah, what is that? The Space Prisoner or something like that?
Yeah, the space prisoner time. I think that's. I
Is
don't.
it-
I
Was
think
that a
that's
couple
pretty,
weeks?
I don't know. I think that's pretty relative. I mean, in terms of how much after. I mean, you can't quote me on this because, like I said, I don't really follow the manga that much, even though I've been trying to. I'm pretty sure it's relatively after. So maybe there's room for it to fit, but even still, I mean, of course, you also have to remember the show doesn't follow the manga rules, so you can
Well,
easily
yeah.
include this into there. You just need to change a few things. So this technically wouldn't make sense in the manga, but it'll make sense in the show, I guess. Yeah.
The Galactic Patrol Prisoner.
You don't need to
arc.
worry about the manga or anything
No.
like that because the manga is generally not a reliable source.
Well, it does seem like there may be a little bit of time before in between um, Dragon Ball Super Broly and the Galactic Prisoner Patrol Prisoner Saga arc, whatever, you know. But that remains to be seen. But it doesn't look like they're going to be incorporating that in this movie because, quite frankly, he already said, you know what, it's still the granola arc is still ongoing. So, there is maybe this takes place in a time period that wasn't addressed in the manga. I would say.
Okay, but and technically, it's not like Dragon Ball sequences take place over the span of like, especially the fights. They don't take the course of days and whatever.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I guess you can kind of make a case depending on when the Moro Saga actually picks up after Broly, but I don't know. This sounds pretty weird.
Well, if you look at this, when it comes to Moro, right?
Yeah.
It takes place the whole saga takes place a few years before the end of the Broly saga and around the destruction of Kid Buu by Goku, right? The Grand Supreme Kai broke the seal his seal on Moro broke the magic. So he was able to escape, blah blah blah. He uses his powers. He's out there. So it's kind of difficult to kind of figure out when this is happening just by I'll be honest, I haven't read that part of Dragon Ball Super yet, so it's a little difficult, but I would tend to think that this happens after the Broly movie. So whether they kind of squeeze what they're doing in Superhero before this arc, that remains to be seen. But we'll check it out. I mean, okay, so we've seen all the characters. Anything about Pan that you guys want to talk about?
Only that
There's not much
they
to talk about.
have a shot at quote unquote not remediating the character, but like trying to do something new, something fresh, something that's not like, oh, okay, well, we saw this pan in GT. No, you have the chance to do something different. Please, God, do it.
Okay.
Hmm.
E,
I don't know.
any thoughts on this?
There's a lot of things that can go wrong with with the movie, not the trailer. I mean, especially with Pan in general and Piccolo. But
Mhm.
as I said before, I trust Toriyama, even though he's made a lot of weird decisions. I felt like his vision was always taken over somehow, and that's why it never had a real chance to go through. Um, so look, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, he practically created the series. I trust him as it is, because this is his vision.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Well, just to go back on what we were talking about in terms of trying to place this,
yeah.
just doing a little research on this, it's interesting because the manga's tournament of power, the tournament of power ends, right, which is basically the series that we saw. The movie, however, is in the manga, but it's only glossed over for like a couple of panels. They don't get into it really, really deeply. So
Oh,
the Broly movie, the Dragon Ball Super aspect of that,
Mm-hmm.
it's in the manga, but it's only like maybe a page. And the time frame between the Broly and Moro, which is the next arc, was left deliberately vague. So it gave the creators the ability to kind of pigeonhole whatever tale they wanted to do before Broly and Moro, right?
okay. All right.
So I guess this is what we're getting. We're getting Dragon Ball Superhero kind of in that vague time period between Broly and Moro. Okay.
Yeah.
So it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years. We really don't, based on how they frame it in the manga itself, you don't really have a really good idea of it. So there you go. Does the trailer make you excited? Are you looking forward to Superhero?
I'm cautious for all my excitement. I am not stoked that you are drumming up a dead horse again with the Red Ribbon Army. The stuff with Broly is interesting.
Do you find it interesting that they barely show him in the trailer?
That means he's gonna
So he's probably gonna be a big part of it?
part of it.
Okay. So the question is, well, it was made quite clear that Goku and Broly were going to have a kind of like a Goku Vegeta relationship in terms of training, right? That they were going to flat out beat the crap out of each other and in a way to kind of attain
Oh
new
no.
levels, right?
Oh no.
Do we see that in this movie, or do we gloss over that and get to the
Oh.
point where it's like, hey, we've been training for how long, but now there's a new threat. Now you and we're going to have to take care of it. Is Broly the superhero?
Oh no.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
sorry. I'm starting to not like Broly now.
Hush.
Holy
Uh-oh.
crap. They're
Hush.
trying to
said the evil words.
They're trying to
I'm about
replace
to
Vegeta.
kick you out in like 2 seconds.
They're trying to replace Vegeta. Holy crap. This is not okay.
And so you were telling me about trusting the Almighty Allfather?
I'm sorry, Dad. I'm not liking where Broly's going. They're trying to replace Vegeta. Flat out. Like, they're
Well,
not even giving any F's about.
Vegeta has always been a character
No,
that's
don't you
gotten-
freaking.
that
Don't you
hasn't gotten
freaking.
much respect.
Okay.
Right?
I was about to say.
Am I correct about that?
Yes, you are definitely correct about that.
They haven't given him much respect in prior series, so why
Nobody has.
do you think that they would stop now? honestly.
But
Tony,
I'm
it's
sorry,
his
Dad.
thing. It's
I'm sorry,
Toriyama's
Dad.
thing.
Broly will never replace Vegeta. It's just not a role that he can
Maybe in
fill.
your mind, but not
He
mine.
will not. He will never fill that role. I'm sorry, Dad. I love Broly. I love you, but that is not something that I agree with.
Oh God, what if that's why Vegeta's been marooned in GT on Earth for that long? Because he doesn't need to go out into the universe.
That's why he's giving him the bad man shirt. He's trying to make him look like a fool. The bad man shirt says it all. Oh my gosh.
Well, that is just some of the speculations that we may have, right? Like I said, I find
Holy
it interesting that Broly, after you spent an entire movie focusing on him, the next trailer you show, you barely see him.
You want to know what
You
I
know?
think? I think that just to kind of close out Dragon Ball, because we have to get to the juicy topic that is Star Wars.
Yes.
I think, and you're gonna hate me for
Don't
this.
you freaking say anything that relates to Vegeta.
You're gonna hate me for this, but you know how Frieza at the end of the movie said, this is a loose cannon I could possibly turn to my advantage. Well, what if he does that this movie? And Broly becomes the evil Broly we all came to know in the older movies.
I mean, I don't know why I would
And
hate you
that's
for
the threat.
that.
Because, again, there's this whole thing now where we want to see less of Frieza.
Mhm.
Oh no, I'm fine with Frieza popping up every now and then. I mean, it's always great to see Frieza. He's amazing, but replacing Vegeta is my problem. Is my soul. Oh Jesus Christ! What the hell are they doing? I thought Broly would be like like a not a mentor, like one of his his like not disciple frick like a Geno and Saitama relationship. Except
That's a
Geno was
disciple.
actually a disciple, not a freaking. No, forget it. Let's move on. I'm done with this.
Broly is weird though because he is so super powerful. You can't kind of pigeonhole him into that.
But you can because this dude does not know how to control his power.
But hence the reason why he's going to be training with Goku.
Yeah, I thought it would be a disciple. Learn how to use your powers for the right reasons. Not, just let's fight. I don't freaking care if Bulma dies. We could just bring her back with the Dragon Balls, and that sort of careless attitude that Goku has. I don't think he honestly. It really okay. I phrased
Where are
that
you
wrong,
going
but
with that?
What I'm trying
Yeah,
to say is
I'm a little lost.
Goku. I feel like Goku with his careless attitude is overlooking the part where he cannot control his power. Hence what you said with Frieza coming in and he's a freaking loose cannon.
See, the problem that I have with Broly turning to the dark side, and I can see where they're going with this because you can kind of make the case that he's such a childlike character that he's easily manipulated, and he is a weapon of mass destruction, right? So you can have, again, and this is going to lead into what we're talking about with Star Wars, right? You can have him as a quote unquote Padawan, a disciple of Goku, who gets turned to the dark side, quote unquote, by Frieza, right? And so he falls to the dark side, and now all of a sudden he's part of the Frieza Force, and blah 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 blah, this and that, the whole night. The only problem I have with that, okay, what you're looking at me weird right now.
Not turn him to the dark side, but and it's going to be a very you'll see it coming from a billion miles away. No, not even that. He could just he's going to manipulate it, but he'll just find a way to straight up kill Lemo and Chilai and then blame it on them.
Oh no.
Yeah, but see again, like I said, my problem with that is that we've kind of seen that already in the Broly movie.
I don't.
So to rehash that whole storyline where innocent little Broly is being taken advantage by someone in the first movie, it was Paragus, right? Because he was using him as his tool for revenge against Vegeta, the Vegeta clan, right? Now in this movie, you're going to have him being used by somebody else. We've kind of seen
Yeah.
that movie already,
No,
you know.
yeah, you're
So
right.
But it's still very likely
I'm
happening.
not too crazy about that, because again, you know, it may not be as good as the first one that we saw, and at that point, you're kind of messing around with the character, you know.
Whatever. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah,
It's
we still have plenty of time. Like I said, this movie is not scheduled to come out until 2022, so we're probably at the very least 6 months, if not maybe more, away from that. And who knows when the English release will come? Although it seems like they're trying to put it together, right?
yeah,
Anyway, talking about Padawans and the
yes.
Force and all that stuff, that's gonna lead us into the second topic that we're kind of itching to discuss. And so that has to do with Disney Plus's upcoming series, Obi-Wan.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hello there.
I have not heard that name in a very long time.
That is true, actually. Because we haven't had a lot of news about Obi-Wan. But like I said, Obi-Wan is going to be a very interesting project because for the most part, we haven't had a lot of details come out in terms of what Obi-Wan is going to be. There's a lot of speculation that it could take place during his, the time where we kind of see him as this freewheeling, swashbuckling, Jedi Knight. There were other theories that it'll take place solely in Tatooine. Him watching over Luke Skywalker and stuff, and maybe we would see a live action duel with Maul, which was done so beautifully in what was it, Clone Wars, right? No,
No,
Rebels. I'm sorry, Rebels. Yes. But a beautiful ending. If you're going to say there was an ending for Maul, right? But now we have information. Now again, I'm going to preface this whole thing by saying that this is only a rumor. So you take it for what it is, and I will give credit to the person who leaked this rumor. The guy is famous leaker of Star Wars, MSW. He does have a hit or miss record, so it could be true, it could be not. But here's what the rumor is. So again, we all know that Hayden Christensen is coming back to reprise his role on the show, and his character is intimately tied with the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan was there for the rise and the fall of Anakin Skywalker, and he was there for the creation of Darth Vader. I mean, think about it. Obi-Wan did create Darth Vader, the iconic Darth Vader that we saw in the original trilogy. So having Obi-Wan and Anakin in this series makes complete sense, right? The problem that we may have is a problem that kind of Star Wars has to begin with, right? Because you've already have the existing properties, and now you're trying to tell stories that happen in those very small gaps that occur between the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and the sequel trilogy. Obi-Wan is going to be one of those things. So, getting back to this leak, we all know that Obi-Wan was there at the creation of Darth Vader. We all know that Darth Vader is the reason why Obi-Wan no longer exists on the physical plane. That happened in Star Wars A New Hope. The rumor has it that, and this happens, it seems like the way they put this in the period, it happens sometimes after Revenge of the Sith, but around the time of Rogue One, if not before. So they're going they're going to get into some stuff because they're going to fight. There's another duel coming between Obi-Wan and Anakin. Okay? Oh, sorry. Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. The leak has it that the duel is going to take place on a rocky planet. So it's not Mustafar. Most likely it doesn't sound like Tatooine. Okay? It's maybe a brand new planet that we've never seen.
Jesus.
Obi-Wan is wearing the tunic that he wore in Revenge of the Sith, that whitish tunic, right? But it's going to be all messed up. So he's seen some stuff. Darth Vader is going to be in his full suit, just like the one that he had in Rogue One. And in this one, according to leak, Obi-Wan is sent to rescue a prisoner, but Vader hears about him and tries to hunt him down. Obi-Wan immediately recognizes Anakin behind all the pomp and circumstance of Darth Vader's, getup. And so they start fighting. There's not too many details other than the fact that Obi-Wan finds a way to force push Vader over 50 feet. But if you believe the leak, it's a massive duel which took 2 weeks to film. And despite the fact that, and I guess this kind of makes sense, it is Vader. Hayden Christensen is not in the suit, obviously. So, he is involved in the series, but he's not involved in this particular scene. So, I mean, I know AJ has problems with this whole leak. But again, this kind of stuff is kind of inevitable because if you're trying to fill in gaps, there are going to be problems with it. But that being said, AJ, I'm gonna give you the mic to explain your issues with not only the leak, but I guess we'll have to talk about Hayden Christensen's involvement in the series because Obi-Wan and Vader, they're going to be interacting at some point during the series. And so in your mind, it kind of breaks Star Wars lore, right?
That explanation just made things like 50,000 times worse.
Explain, please.
First of all, in New Hope, when Vader is going down there to see the Millennium Falcon, he says something very interesting. He says, "Oh, well, I haven't felt this presence since," and then he walks off. Now, that was left ambiguous probably by George Lucas for a very good reason. And that good reason ended up being Revenge of the Sith, where they had their last super climactic fight. And he hasn't been able to find him since, until that moment.
Right.
Now you're going to cheapen that by adding in a second, apparently, super climactic fight. That kind of that breaks New Hope in like so many ways.
Well,
not so many ways. That one way, but it's a very important way.
Well, let me ask you this then, though, because yes, it does break it. Now, Revenge of the Sith takes place how long before A New Hope?
Well, Luke was a baby, so he was 1. New Hope, he was like what, 19, 18?
So we're probably talking about 20 years, right?
A good 20 years at least.
Does and again, we don't know because we don't know the details of the series, at this point. Bless you.
Thank you.
At this point, they are still filming, so they haven't finished, principal photography yet. But would your concerns about Obi-Wan be a little bit alleviated if Obi-Wan took place very close to the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Uh, I'd say yes. Look, there's only one way you can even feasibly work in a rematch, at least in my opinion. Rematch, quote unquote. If you really, really, really want to go that route, there have been at least how many different, because let's face it, the choreography in New Hope between Kenobi and Vader is very bland.
And it's
Garbage.
and I think that's one of the things that a lot of people, have commented on, because it's striking how, and again, this falls into the problem of them trying to fill in gaps. Rogue One, which is supposedly set minutes after before A New Hope, shows a very, very different Vader. A Vader who is pretty much peak Vader at the top of his form. But then in the very next movie, he can barely keep up with a geriatric Obi-Wan, right? And I think that's one of the things that again, we're looking at Star Wars, and you have to say there are issues with the timeline. It's almost, but not nearly as bad as the X-Men issues in
Yeah.
terms of timeline, right? But there that's always been one of those things where, like, you know what, Vader was supremely awesome in Rogue One. What the hell happened in those minutes after?
He got
Where-
a galactic cramp.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
It's like Stark. So again, with pacing and stuff, that's kind of the problem that Star Wars falls into, right?
Yeah, so back to what I was saying. There have been numerous recreations of that single fight alone, and there's a really good one out there on YouTube.
Oh, you're talking about the fight on the Death Star between the
Yes.
two? Yes, we've seen that. Really good too, right?
Yes. So if you even wanted to consider like Snowball's chance of a possibility between a rematch, re-choreograph that fight. That is the only thing you can do that won't break Star Wars canon, at least in my opinion.
Okay.
And it's something that I think the fans would at least enjoy seeing.
Let me push a little back on that. Okay. And I agree. It would be a good idea in terms of keeping consistent with what we're seeing on the screen. However, and I don't know if you remember this or not. I do, because I grew up with all this stuff. The backlash that has been the new versions of the original trilogy.
Oh yeah, Lucas. He continually went back and edited stuff. Yeah, that's right.
So there's a huge segment of the fan base that is very much against changing anything. I mean, they've changed. There, Lucas went back because you know what he said. There are things that I wanted to do back then that technologically wise I could not do, but now that I have the chance, I can do it. And he also added Hayden Christensen into that end scene at the end of Return of the Jedi as Ghost to kind of blend all the trilogies together, right? It makes sense. But again, like I said, the fans have not been 100% on board with him doing it. I don't know if the fans would be as much as people love seeing that YouTube thing. I don't know if they'd be crazy about having Lucas or whoever, Disney at this point, changing that scene to make it flow
Yeah.
better.
I mean,
that's the only thing.
I get that, but that's the only way you can have this fight. Honestly, if I had to pick between an entirely new fight and at least a reimagining of one we already have, I would go with the reimagining than the thing that will actually break canon.
Okay, so let's noodle. Okay, using a phrase that one of our favorite characters on the Apple Plus TV show Mythic Quest, right?
Mythic Quest.
To quote Ian Grimm, let's noodle. All right.
Noodle.
Let's figure this out. Is there a way that you think it's possible that the Obi-Wan series explains the difference in fighting styles? Like, let's say, follow me if you think you know where I'm going with this here.
Okay.
Let's say that the battle that they have on the show itself is so draining and taxing that it actually, in a sense, ages their force powers to the point that they become
What?
the New Hope figures. I mean,
oh Jesus!
that's
What?
the only thing I can think. Now with Vader,
Oh my God!
no, but seriously, with Vader, it does make sense because we've already had confirmation, right, that the Emperor, when he rebuilt back Anakin, he used purposefully old parts for the Darth Vader suit to kind of contain his power in a sense, because Vader at that point, in terms of, I think you can make the case that he was either as powerful as the Emperor or close to surpassing him, right? And I think that's one of the things that the Emperor was always afraid of. And so he kind of neutered Vader in a way when he built that suit for him. So, there's that. And maybe you make the case that the suit can only, it's kind of like an Iron Man suit where after a while it
Jesus.
depowers and gets worse. I mean, I'm trying to find
my
ways
gosh.
here to kind of make all this stuff work
It
without
re-
changing
It
stuff.
really just is a galactic cramp at that point.
They
Oh,
didn't
God.
take their
medication.
their medication.
Oh God.
They didn't take their Geritol's or whatever. In whatever form.
Oh, geez.
I mean, but I can't think of any other way to do it so that, it makes sense. Unless this massive duel, which according to the Sleeker took 2 weeks, was so force draining that they became old all of a sudden.
What?
Can you think of another
What?
way to make it work?
I mean, the only thing I can really think of, and you know what, you've made a point on this in Rebels, is that Obi-Wan's fighting style changes significantly
Yes, it does.
since Revenge of the Sith. It becomes more conservational, more, okay, I'm going to end this in one strike type deal. So what if that forces Vader to change his style to adapt to Obi-Wan's?
Vader doesn't seem the type to adapt.
I mean,
Vader seems to be
yeah.
the type to impose his will on somebody.
Yeah.
So if anything, I think it would be Obi-Wan that would have to force to change his ways. But Obi-Wan is wise beyond his years, right? So I don't know. I mean,
like I'm trying to take into consideration Rogue One too.
I know that's the problem. And so that's why I said maybe it's like an Iron Man situation where, his energy depletes and Vader has to go plug in somewhere.
But that's just
Needs the
terrible.
charge.
That oh
He's
my
like-
God.
He's like
What?
the modern version of Tesla.
Oh God. Oh man.
I can't figure out any other way to make this happen, because like you said, the Rogue One thing kind of breaks everything. It doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, he makes he says the line in A New Hope where it's like, it's a president I haven't felt in blah 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 blah, right?
Well,
And
he just says since,
he
and then
leaves it. He leaves it hanging, right? You can fix that, but you can't fix Rogue One. That's the problem.
He threw
You know what I'm
his
saying?
suit into
But
the...
I don't want them to fix Rogue One because that scene
Yeah.
is so freaking awesome.
Yes.
But
God.
He threw his suit into the laundry and it got smaller.
it's like taking one of our geese and it's like all of a sudden it doesn't fit. I
Yeah.
can't walk.
Oh God.
Oh, but the problem I have with all these scenarios is it takes away from the badassery that we know is, excuse my language, Darth Vader.
I don't.
And I can't stand for that.
Honestly,
It's kind of like you and the Vegeta situation. I will not stand for something as stupid and inane an explanation as that.
I don't think you need to really explain it at all. It's not something that's needed. People understand that that time has a different effect on how we make movies, and I don't think it's anything that you have to explain by coming up with something as bizarre as like what I said or anything just like that. This is something that you can't change. It's a classic. It's not something that should be you know, I guess it needs to remain the same, and I don't think it needs an explanation for how they went about it. I think it's fine where it is. If you try and change the choreography around, you're gonna screw it up big time. I mean, the fact that the fact that a rematch like that even popped into your brain is, I don't know, it's just horrible
That
to think about.
was not, if this turns out to be true, this is the worst move you can make, Disney. What the hell? And you know what? Again, combing through the mental archives here to further bolster this argument that this whole fight would break the canon, moments before fighting Obi-Wan in New Hope, he says, "When I left, I was but the learner. Now I am the master." That is Mustafar right there, encapsulated.
That is true.
That pigeonhole.
Well,
It gets worse the more I think about it.
you can also kind of make the case that he was still very much a student, but not a student under Obi-Wan's teachings, but under Emperor Palpatine's teachings. So, I mean,
Hmm.
it's vague enough that Disney can make that case, right?
That is no. Stop right there. No. No, 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 no. No. That no.
Anyway, I mean,
You're already now you're deliberately poking holes where there ought not be any holes.
Oh no, I'm not defending it at all. I'm just trying to figure out ways. Like I said, we're noodling here, right?
no, honestly, I'm gonna put it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't think Obi-Wan should have even been a thing.
And that's where you're wrong.
I felt that, okay, maybe if you took out Bad Batch and the rest of the shows, then you added Obi-Wan. Okay, that's fine. But it's getting to a point where you're trying to noodle. You're doing what Iron Grim is doing. You're trying to noodle on a thing that's already finished. Skywalker Saga is finished. I thought we went over that already. They finished it with that dumpster fire Rise of Skywalker. Just leave it at that. You can't make it any better.
Okay, but this isn't necessarily a Skywalker story.
But this technically
This
is.
is no.
You know that they're gonna include.
This is a Kenobi story.
You cannot say that.
everyone's
Jesus,
been
no.
wanting.
You cannot say that. You
And
cannot.
I
apparently-
really
No, 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 no,
can't.
no, no. Listen to me
No.
here. Listen to what I'm saying. We all said that the Mandalorian story would be a Mandalorian story. Guess who showed up? Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker will always be in a story. You cannot deny that. He's always gonna have some. Even if he puts a finger down on it, it's still considered his because it's freaking Luke Skywalker.
Well, I will say
It's his property.
Luke Skywalker. I will be very, very surprised if Luke Skywalker shows up in the
No.
series, because remember, he's supposed to be in hiding from Vader.
That's even
He's-
worse. You're
he's
putting him.
never, He's never left Tatooine.
Okay.
So
And?
there, and it's clear that this is happening while Obi-Wan
He's a
is
kid.
out
Yes, I know.
doing stuff. Now, I will say this though. You mentioned that this always ends up becoming a Skywalker story, right? So I'm going to roll around to some of the theories that are out there in the internet,
Jesus
because
Christ.
remember when I said that this whole scene takes place because Obi-Wan is trying to, secure a prisoner, right? One of the speculations is that the prisoner is Leia.
What? No.
Okay.
What?
No,
Where did that
what?
come from?
It's one of the speculations. Okay.
See, this is why you can never trust fandom and what
Well,
what they
listen,
want.
the
What they
article
want.
that I'm reading from says it doesn't make sense because why
Yes,
would
thank you.
Vader,
Jesus
imprison
Christ.
Leia? But whatever. But Vader
Straight
would
some
kinda
So he
do it.
sense
does
into
in
these
New Hope,
into the
essentially.
fandom, please.
But that's one of the other, and I think this is going to incense
Oh,
Eli. The other person that they're claiming could be the prisoner
no.
is, drumroll please.
If
Come
you
on,
say Mace
Jesus.
Windu, I
No.
swear to
No,
God.
no,
Okay,
not
good.
Mace. You already know who it's gonna be because
Grogu.
it's
What?
well, that's just
Grogu?
that's stupid. I see,
I mean,
why-
he is
this is-
alive at this time,
Jesus,
but like,
is this what the fandom wants?
no, Eli, it's a theory.
It's a theory, but it really feels like the fandom doesn't know what they want.
This is coming from the fans.
Yes,
These are theories that are coming from the fans, not the leaker. The leaker has provided the kind of like the framework. Now people are kind of like trying to fill in the blanks here.
It really doesn't. It really just feels like fandom doesn't know what they want, and it's being to the detriment of Star Wars. I'm
Now,
sorry.
I'm gonna circle back because it does appear that the Obi-Wan series takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
So that kind of leaves it almost right in between the time period of Revenge of the Sith and Rogue One, like almost smack dab in the middle. Is that long enough for you to buy the whole I haven't felt this presence since?
No.
Okay.
No.
So I wanted to put that in there, but at this point we are kind of talking about peak Obi-Wan because at this point, he's already had the encounter with Anakin, and presumably he has had his mentorship continue with Qui-Gon coming back and kind of teaching him from beyond the grave and stuff. So we are seeing Obi-Wan pretty much at his strongest, which again then kind of makes you wonder how he declined so quickly from that point to A New Hope. And I think that's probably the biggest things that we're going to have to grapple with this show going forward is how do we reconcile those things?
When will they start expanding on the universe already?
You know what'd be weird? So, and I really hope they don't do this. In the comics, Sidious contracts what's known as a force virus.
And you say that I throw out some weird rumors, right? And some weird theories.
Those words. Oh. Oh no.
So are we saying that the Emperor refuses to take a vaccine because freedom?
No.
Is that what it is?
Insane.
I mean, if you really wanted to go the decline route, that thing feeds off the Force. It's Parasite.
No, what the?
That's a very terrible idea, but
Oh my. And especially during this time, bro, that is gonna be holy crap. Oh my god, that will just destroy the Star Wars universe as a whole. Oh my gosh.
So we're definitely going to have what Kathleen Kennedy has already described as the rematch of the century. Whether it's the way that they describe it in this leak or not remains to be seen. But I'm kind of getting from the vibes in this room here that we're not too pleased about.
No, it is just straight. Oh my god.
Is there any way that this duel
No.
happens that
no,
will make sense for you guys?
no. It's just
They're gonna ruin
it's
the
gonna
show.
break New Hope. I'm sorry.
They're gonna ruin the show.
It's gonna break the original trilogy, and
And it's
you know
just,
what? It doesn't even seem like they care about the original trilogy to begin with.
They're gonna ruin the show, and they're gonna lower my expectations again for the next show. So
God.
Well, I think that's all
Who's
we got.
heading this, by the way?
The Obi-Wan series?
Yes.
The Obi-Wan series is directed by I forgot what her name is, but she did do a bunch of she did direct a bunch of episodes for The Mandalorian.
Okay.
Let me get you that name really quickly.
So, in other words, not the one and only.
why is
Who?
it Dave Filoni?
Yes.
Oh, Dave Filoni?
Why isn't he doing anything about this? Are they just like so disappointed that they want to? It's almost like they're ignoring it. They want to forget about it, and like, oh my god, it's like the drunk people who like ignore their problems. It really feels like that. I'm sorry, like I don't want to compare them to that, and obviously that's an exaggeration, but it really feels like they're ignoring what's going on in the Star Wars universe.
So, as I was saying before, the director
There
is
is no iceberg.
Yes,
God.
the director is Deborah Chow.
Okay.
So she had directed a couple of episodes from The Mandalorian.
Which ones though?
And it's written by a guy named Joby Harold.
Okay.
He's an English screenwriter, producer, and director. He's got a couple of a couple of big credits. So he's a screenwriter, producer, and director. He's tackling his new project is Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, the new live action Transformers film that's coming out.
Huh.
And a sequel to Bumblebee, by the way.
Oh, okay.
He also did executive produced John Wick Chapter 3. After writing on John Wick Chapter 2, he executive produced Edge of Tomorrow. He co-wrote King Arthur: Legend of the Sword.
Don't know.
He wrote a draft of the upcoming superhero movie, The Flash, which was not used. And he also co-wrote recently a zombie movie which we pretty much enjoyed, the Netflix Army of the Dead.
Okay.
So the guy has some cred, okay? And again, like I said, Deborah Chow, Canadian filmmaker, television director, and screenwriter. She has worked on Beauty and the Beast, Rain, Mr. Robot, The Mandalorian, of course. So and the episodes which she directed, The Mandalorian, and were very good. So it seems like it's in good hands. It does not seem that our Lord and Savior Dave Filoni is involved in the series. Okay. But we'll wait and see. Like I said, this is, yeah, we'll just wait and see.
I think at this point, it's not really mattering anymore whether it's in good hands or not. I think it's more about
Disney, the devil.
Yeah, no, not even just that. Where people want this to go from, like I don't want to like disrespect any people, but it really just seems like everybody has different ideas on where the Star Wars universe should go. You have the fandom, Disney. I mean, even we disagree on where Star Wars should go. Just us, and I think that's. I think that's the main problem with this. There's some people who want to go back, some people that want to move on.
But I think Star Wars is big enough that you can do both.
I don't think so, because they're screwing it up already.
No, but what I'm saying is that you can do both and kind of please both fandoms. No. I didn't say
you have
it
to
would
do
work.
It right.
I didn't say it would work, but I say it's big enough that you can do both.
I don't think so.
Well, we'll find out because Obi-Wan is set to release in 2022 with 6 episodes.
6?
6 episodes.
Yeah, they're definitely screwing this up for sure.
It's basically 2 movies.
Yep. So there you go.
Yeah, they're screwing this up. Sorry. Not sorry.
All right. Well, there you have it. That is basically Obi-Wan in a nutshell from the leak. Thank you, MSW, for creating such controversy over what this series might be.
Can't wait for 5 out of 6 episodes to be fillers.
No,
God.
no.
I really hope not. You know, but we'll see. So, Dragon Ball Super is a thumbs up in a way.
I don't even
Thumb-
think
middle
I don't
to
even
thumbs
think
up.
it deserves a thumb right
Middle
now.
to thumbs up,
Well, I mean, not deserves. I don't think it's.
like 3/4 thumbs.
I don't think it's. I just don't think that a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a thumbs in the middle is a good rating for how we would think. It's like going up and down. It's going wonky. It's not even in the middle.
Well, let me
So,
put it to you this way. It kind of like the way the Roman emperors used to do it. Does it live or does it die?
Oh,
The trailer.
Is it like? I think it might be like beaten a little bit.
Do you give it a shot to fight again, or do you
It's-
kill it right away?
I'll give it a shot to fight again. I'm really not happy with the Red Ribbon Army, but
It's
there are clearly
yeah.
more problematic things happening in other places.
yeah. It's beaten, but it's not on life support yet.
Okay,
Okay.
no, it's on life support. But anyway,
No, it isn't.
Obi-Wan. Does
It's like
live?
it only got like a punch and a tooth knocked out. That's it.
Obi-Wan, based on
Not
the
at
leak,
all.
does it
Yeah,
live
I'm
or does
sorry.
it die?
Punch and a tooth knocked out, with a little bit of nosebleed and maybe
Obi-Wan?
a concussion. I mean, oh no, I'm talking
we,
about
we passed Dragon Ball.
superhero.
He's done.
Superhero.
I'm
Okay.
talking about Obi-Wan.
Does
Does it live? Based on the leak, which we know is 50-50.
Obi-Wan is in a coma.
It's
Oh,
a
I just phrased that the
very
wrong way.
bad sign.
I just phrased that the wrong way. Obi-Wan is in a coma. no.
Bro.
Oh gosh. No, but it's okay.
Broless Chuckless.
Broless Chuckless.
I don't even know what that is, but whatever. All right, so we'll wrap this up. People, thank you for joining us on this pretty wacky episode.
Yeah.
You know. And please remember to join us on next Tuesday where we'll have another awesome episode. We just don't know what the heck it's going to be, but we'll figure it out. So until then, I am Walt.
Check this out. Darth Badman.
Oh, that is disgusting. That is,
AKA AJ.
oh, that is disgusting.
Best name, best moniker ever.
That is disgusting. Darth Frick. I don't know.
Darth Frick?
no.
Okay.
No. Okay, fine. Darth Frick. And
E.E. Banks.
E.E. Banks. Oh jeez. What was I? Oh yes. I screwed it up again. Damn. Jesus, what really was I? Oh, Mayar.
Dun, 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 dun.
May our lightsabers,
That's
Cross.
too simple though.
may our blaster bolts.
Mayar
Cross
Force. No, I was trying to do something because it has the word May. In
Force
it.
Lightning.
So, and you know, May the
Those
Fourth.
can't really cross, they collide.
May the Fourth cross. May the Fourth cross again.
May the fourth cross again. What's going on?
Well, I mean, technically, it does make sense because you're crossing it.
No.
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 May our X-wings cross again.
Okay, I take that better.
No, are you freaking kidding me? They're slamming into each other and exploding. What are you
Hell
talking
no.
about?
May our X-foils.
That's worse. It's
Right?
still the same
Wait,
thing.
what is it?
The wings of the X-wing, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
What-
that's still
what's
worse.
this
It's
say?
still gonna blow up either
X-foils
way.
in attack position.
Oh,
All right. X-foils
but it's not crossing.
cross in attack position.
What?
They're gonna
They're just gonna
interlock. They're gonna
Yeah,
crash.
crash.
I don't.
All right.
May our intergalactic flight paths
That's
cross
still
again.
the same thing because you're
Oh,
crashing
shit.
with. Oh my god! Why are we just killing random X? Oh my gosh, bro!
All right, we're just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that. Later, people.
Man, Force lightning.
Paths cross
Force
again.
lightning.
I said force lightning before. You said
Force
they
light-
collide. They
yes,
don't
it
cross.
collides. It doesn't cross.
Why does oh yeah, that's right. Well, you never know. Maybe like one of them is transparent or something. I don't freaking know.
All right, later, people.